Hello again, I am Blunty, and today I want to blow your chicken plucking mind just a little bit. So here's the thing you're looking at. It's Minecraft, of course, with full-on ray tracing, and not just ordinary garden variety, generic brand ray tracing, but path tracing. You know, that super-duper extra hardcore type of ray tracing that was just added to Cyberpunk 2077, the one they called Overdrive Mode, and the one NVIDIA have been using heavily in their marketing push to try and sell people a new RTX 4090. The one where basically all of the lighting and shadows and reflections are ray traced, not just a few hand-picked parts of it, like current ray tracing usually works. Now, this path-traced global illumination shader, PTGI, for Minecraft is in fact nothing new. As a matter of fact, I first covered it about 4 years ago, back when an RTX 2060 was humming along in my gaming rig. But the mind-blowing part is, you're watching it on the ROG Ally handheld, which you probably knew already because it would be smart of me to put it in the title and probably thumbnail of this video. So, not a big shock, not a big reveal, I suppose. But yeah, just for the record, that is in fact the gameplay you're looking at. This is running on the ROG Ally. PTGI is a pig of a thing to run, and I installed it for a laugh, quite frankly, thinking I could make a joke about frames per minute. Ha ha ha, original humor. But joke's on me, it's damn close to being called legitimately playable. And it is at least good enough for a little, like world tour stuff to snatch up some fancy looking walkthroughs and screenshots of your builds to share around on social media. But how did I get here? Why did I try to make that joke? Well, unless you're new around here, over the last couple of weeks I've been testing out the as yet unreleased handheld gaming PC, the ROG Ally. Full set of links to the main review, gameplay vids, and even using it for VR in the down below. But this week I've started poking around at games that are, in various ways, problematic on the Steam Deck. The biggest name competitor to the ROG Ally and the most common thing it will be compared to when it launches. But I've been looking at games that run, and run okay on the Steam Deck, but perhaps need a few more compromises than would be ideal. Unexpectedly low graphics settings, heavier compromises, unusually low resolution choices, unsteady performance, or just an inability to reach ideal frame rates, so compromising by locking at 30 FPS. Like a console pleb. Minecraft actually runs pretty great on the Steam Deck though, for the record, but it caught my eye because, well, a few reasons. Firstly, it's a bit of a faff to get set up. Microsoft and Mojang do still maintain a Linux-compatible launcher for Minecraft, including one for Arch, which is what underpins SteamOS on the Steam Deck. You do have to jump through a few hoops to download it and install it even in the first place, including changing into desktop mode for a start, which itself needs a full reboot of the Steam Deck system for reasons. But there are plenty of guides online, and it is a pretty straightforward enough experience if you're comfortable with a Linux desktop. But then comes the issue of control. Minecraft Java, the OG Minecraft, and the one you're going to want if you want to use mods and shaders and whatnot, doesn't actually have any built-in support for controllers. And apparently it really doesn't play all that well with Steam Deck's controller at all, even if you fuff about trying to make a customized profile for it to make it pretend to be a keyboard and mouse. Which you totally can do, but yeah, apparently it's not ideal. Which is why basically every Steam Deck guide I looked into for installing Java Minecraft suggested using a third-party launcher called Prism Launcher. This too is a little bit of a faff because now you also have to separately install a Java runtime because it doesn't come with it like the default launcher does. But after all of that faff and tinkering and setup and customization and adding it to the SteamOS launcher and giving it a custom icon and everything, you can then, at long last, very easily download and install mods from right within the launcher. And that works great. Didn't have anything this smooth and seamless last time I was playing Minecraft regularly. And the reason you want to do this in the first place is a mod called Midnight Controller, which adds a very native-feeling controller support to Java Minecraft, including on-screen UI and icons closely mimicking the controller UI of Bedrock Minecraft, also known as the one you get on consoles and Windows 10 and phones. And of course, this also simplifies adding things like shader support and performance enhancer mods. And it's all really quite nice, after the faff of getting it set up, and it works just as nicely for Windows too, which is, of course, what I did. Of course, I can easily use the native, modern Minecraft launcher for Windows through the Xbox app, and it can launch every version of Minecraft in one place, Java, Bedrock, the spin-off games, but the ease of mod installation still makes the Prism launcher very attractive even for a Windows user. And so we start walking towards where we started in this video. Vanilla Minecraft itself runs deep into triple-digit frame rates without even so much as a performance-enhancing mod. The only mod I have installed here is the controller one. Everything else is just default vanilla. But of course, 100 something FPS is just kind of wasteful in Minecraft. It doesn't add anything to the experience. So that means we can save a bunch more battery power by dropping down into the 9-watt silent mode and that means we can cap the frame rate at 60, which is the most comfortable place for Minecraft then, and that means we can save a bunch more battery power. The ROG Allies Command Center System Frame Rate Limiter does not affect Minecraft though, so you want to do this part in the game settings themselves. And there you have it, a perfect handheld Java Minecraft experience. Lovely. So, with that benchmark established, I decided there was going to be plenty of overhead for some shaders and fancy resource packs. Hooray, that was the entire point of starting this journey. I imported an old world from a couple of years back when I was regularly streaming Minecraft over on Twitch, a world I originally ran with heavy shaders, and I in fact had some special builds and areas specifically set up to test fancy lighting shader stuff. I installed the Sodium mod for performance sweetening, the Iris mod for shaders. These appeared to be the current most preferred options in the Minecraft community for this job. And I installed the newest versions of a couple of old favorite shaders and resource packs, specifically Silder's Vibrant Shader, Vanilla Normals Renewed, and Faithful PBR32, which I like to use to make Minecraft look a lot fancier, but still letting it look and feel iconically Minecraft as well. I never did like getting too fancy with my resource packs. Not a big fan of the thematic or realistic style packs. They just make Minecraft look weird to my eyes. Anyway, so I started, I thought sensibly, with the light version of Silder's shaders. I mean, after all, we're just on an APU here, and it can probably go without saying, but at this point, silent mode becomes less practical because the shaders do start needing more GPU power. So we step back up to the default performance mode, and it's dancing either side of 60 FPS in my busy little township here. Okay then, let's step right up to the high version of the same shader, and with that, we're into the mid-40s, dropping to the high 30s, reaching the mid-50s in easy spots, but never quite getting to 60. For a casual Minecraft experience, this is pretty playable. But let's split the difference. Happy medium it is, literally. With the medium-level Silder shaders, we get somewhere where I'm really very happy. Mid-50s to mid-70s depending on how much work the lighting needs to be doing, which means we can cap at 60 and remain there quite a lot of the time, and when we do dip below that, it won't feel jarring. Nice. And if you're playing plugged in or docked, you can of course crank into turbo mode and nail it to 60 easily. But, you know what? If we're gonna put this thing in turbo mode, let's make it hard work. And that, of course, brings us back to where we started, the PTGI Path Traced Raytracing shader. And to my vast shock, it not only worked, but worked well enough to use. I mean, normal gameplay might be a bit less than ideal for most players, although back in the day I saw a lot of people slumming on Android mobile players, plopping along at worse frame rates. But we are sitting in the low 20s at worst, and at times we come temptingly close to the mid-30s. So depending on your personal preferences, you might consider this playable. I don't for me. The PTGI shaders here are only going to be useful on the Ally for slow walkthroughs of builds and fancy screenshots and, the stuff I was talking about in the opening. It does work surprisingly nicely though. The last time I tested these shaders, it had a lot of issues with AMD hardware and had a bunch of visual bugs which made it basically unusable. Seems all that's been fixed though. That's nice. And just to demonstrate that this is indeed full-on proper path-traced ray tracing, and not just a fancy shader that looks a lot like ray tracing, I can show you my special ray tracing corridor that I built a few years back specifically to test this shader. And one room in particular I want to take you to, set up so that only path-traced light from these glowing blocks, when fed through the iris in the wall between these two rooms into an otherwise completely dark room, creates an image on the facing wall. This, my friends, is how cameras work. This is a real experiment you can do in the real world. It's called the camera obscura, and it is the earliest form of camera we ever invented as people. And it only works when light is being accurately path traced and behaving like it would in the real physical world. Which I can demonstrate for you by turning on one of the traditional type shaders instead, and you can see the little projected smiley face is gone now. Isn't that cool? An actual working camera obscura in Minecraft using path trace lighting. Which brings me to one more point in the Ally versus Steam Deck talk. There is another version of Minecraft that uses path tracing. We've mentioned Bedrock a few times, and of course the PC version of Bedrock won't run on the Steam Deck as it comes because, well, it's Windows exclusive. But on the Ally, it can of course run just fine because that runs Windows, and it, unlike Java, has fully native controller support that works by default. No need for mods. Not that you can do much modding with Bedrock, but still. And here too, in its just regular native vanilla mode, I can reach triple-digit frame rates in performance mode. But like I said, Bedrock can also do ray tracing. So let's load up that special demo world that NVIDIA put together when they were using this to promote their second generation RTX graphics cards. And well, I'll be a creeper's uncle. Look at that. It's around about the same as what we were getting from the PTGI shader for Java. Low 20s, maybe get a little bit above that. We're in turbo mode again here, of course, because, well, you just need that grunt. Without it, you're in the teens. But yeah, again, not what you would call playable, but certainly usable. I mean, you can navigate the game at these frame rates. You can do little walkthroughs. You can take nice little screenshots of your stuff. But yeah, color me absolutely shocked. As much as I didn't expect PTGI to work, I was sure this wasn't going to work. But of course, as much as NVIDIA try to make RTX their branding for ray tracing, you don't actually need an RTX card to do this kind of ray tracing. This is part of DX12's ray tracing stuff. It's not an exclusive NVIDIA thing necessarily. They just have special bits on their graphics card to make the calculations for doing this particularly efficient. But as you can see here, even on AMD hardware, even on AMD APU hardware, on a handheld, you can still do it, technically speaking. Again, I don't want to play like this, but it can be done, which is kind of incredible in and of itself, wouldn't you say? Still though, never expected to be able to even run path traced shaders on Java here, much less have them run at damn close to playable frame rates. I mean, my gosh, the next time I have an afternoon free with nothing else to do, I might come back to this and fiddle even more, see if I can fine-tune my way, finesse my way to a stable 30, because, oh, we are temptingly close. The last time I tried to use PTGI shaders on a low-power device was back on the AMD Ryzen 5 3400G, which is a direct ancestor of the APU chip that now hums inside the ROG Ally, as a matter of fact. A few generations back. Man, what a little monster the ROG Ally is. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this as interesting as I did. If you have, hopefully you've done the comment and the thumb and the whatnot things. Meanwhile, thank you very much. Thank you to all the patrons scrolling up above there. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.